Hey guys, welcome to another figure unboxing and review. Today we're going to be looking at the G.I.Joe Classified Series Cobra Shadow Tracker. Since this is the first figure I reviewed for G.I.Joe Classified that is more recent rather than the blast from the past that I've been doing from figures from 3 or 4 years ago. As you can see, the first thing you're going to notice is the box is different. Now, as you can see, they've gone plastic free, which they started doing earlier this year, and which they're going to be ending starting next year. So that whole plastic free thing didn't last very long. It's unfortunate that they decided to do it, because they probably should have tried it with just one line first to see how the consumers took to it. And when they saw how badly it did in that line, they could have just decided not to do it with their other lines. Unfortunately, they decided to push it with all their lines at the same time. So what we have now is this entire year, basically, Marvel, Star Wars, G.I. Joe Classified, everything is plastic free. So you're going to have several years of windowed boxes, followed by 1 year of all plastic-free packaging, and then back to the windowed boxes again. It's going to really mess up a lot of people's displays, and it was a bad decision on Hasbro's part. If they wanted to cut back on their environmental impact, they could have found a different way to do it. They chose this way, and it didn't work out for them. They lost money, so they went back to the windowed packaging starting early next year. But there's actually a different type of plastic-free packaging that predates this one. I haven't reviewed any of those figures yet on my channel, but you can probably find them online. It's basically the plastic-free box, but instead of the promo shots of the figure itself, it's just artwork. It's all artwork on the front, no promo shots. That was criticized even more by people because now they're not even showing you the figure that's inside the box. They're just showing you artwork of the figure that's inside the box. So Hasbro quickly changed to this. And this packaging is actually pretty cool, in my opinion, and a lot of people agree with me. Now the lack of a window obviously is a problem because you can't tell if there are any QC issues until you get the figure out of the box, which is the problem, especially with some of the waves that we've had this year. And I'll go over that, especially when I get to the Falcon wave. I'll talk about QC issues, definitely. But I did have a QC issue with this figure that I will discuss during the review. As you can see, there are Easter eggs on the box. First of all, you can see this purple glowing crystals on the ground. That's part of the storyline that they're running with the Classified here. This is basically Dark Energon, it's called, which if you're a Transformers fan, you know Energon is the energy that the Transformers use to power themselves. So that's a tie-in, basically, to the Transformers line. He's also standing in front of this pyramid in the back, which I'm not too sure what that's a reference to. And as you can see, there's a figure. Looks like it's skydiving. Although, he should have opened his parachute by now. He's kind of low. By the time he gets his parachute open, he's going to hit the ground. So that's a little low to not have your parachute deployed yet. He may have a air suit, maybe, I don't know, but I can't tell who that figure is. It's a little too, it looks like it's white with black harness, so no telling who that is. He definitely doesn't look like the Night Force Ripcord or Crazy Leg that are coming with the Dragonfly, so I don't think he's either of those guys. He's a completely different character, someone that we haven't had revealed yet, probably. Now, if you're a G.I. Joe fan from the 80s who stopped collecting after that line ended, you probably have no idea who this is. And I didn't really know him at first. When they first announced him, I was like, who's this guy? Apparently, they released a figure of him in 2011 with the Pursuit of Cobra line. That was his first appearance in the line. He was just a completely brand new figure. As you can see, he's a black guy. G.I. Joe is one of the more diverse, I would say, and inclusive toy lines out there, especially for the 80s. I mean, when you consider like He-Man, the Master of the Universe, I think Clamp Champ was like the only non-white person they had in the entire line. I could be wrong about that. Clamp Champ's the only one I remember. But G.I. Joe has always been pretty inclusive. They've always had a pretty wide range of different races and genders and whatnot. But Cobra, not so much, you know. So I think making him black was a good way to give more diversity in the Cobra ranks, as opposed to it only being on the G.I. Joe side. So, Shadow Tracker is this guy's name. And other than that, I don't really know anything else about him. I didn't look at his file card from the Pursuit of Cobra one. I didn't collect that figure because I wasn't collecting G.I. Joe at the time, so I missed out on him. But it's a cool looking figure. It's kind of like a humanoid version of the Predator. Essentially, that's basically the vibe I get from him, and I'm not the only one. But as you can see with this box, we got the figure promo shot here, figure artwork, Cobra Shadow Tracker. Up here, you got a ribbon with all the accessories he comes with. G.I. Joe Classified Series at the top. Okay, if you watch the Beachhead review, you'll know that I'm only on like early teens with the numbers. As you can see, this one's 108, so I've got a long way to go to catch up to these. And there's more artwork here. Another 108, a QR code. Scanning this only brings you to the Hasbro's shopping page, Hasbro Shop. Maybe at some point it'll bring you to a G.I. Joe website. They used to have one, but they took it down because they had stopped updating it for like 4 years. They hadn't updated it, so they finally took it down, and now this just goes straight to the Hasbro Shop website. Hopefully they will reinstate the G.I. Joe website at some point and keep it up to date, and then this will go there instead. And as you can see below it, we've got his file card, basically all his skills, his skill set, whatever. On the bottom, you got your legalese. And this time on the back, aside from the legalese and the bigger version of his file card, normally what we would have either the collage of different characters that you saw in the first few Blast from the Past I did, or the Cobra Island map that you saw in the Beachhead review. This time, you just get another shot of the figure. And also, this is helpful. It gives you this height. So he's 6.4 inches, and basically that means he's 6 feet 4 inches tall, because that's usually how it's translated. You take the inches here, and then you just convert them into the 6 inches. It goes into feet, and then the 4 inches stays 4 inches. So if it's a 6.4 inch tall figure, if he's 6'4", the figure itself. You also get the shot of all the accessories again, close-ups of some of his gear. So let's get him open. Now, I've already gone ahead and removed the accessories and taken the figure out of the plastic ties because I didn't want to waste time doing that in front of the camera. So that's all said and done. This is the accessory box that the newer figures come in. The older figures obviously have the accessories in the plastic tray. And when they go back to that plastic tray starting next year, the accessories will be back in that plastic tray. I prefer the plastic tray because it keeps the accessories in shape, you know, as long as they don't, you know, stuff them in the plastic tray out of shape. But in the box, you know, they can get bent in transit, so I don't really like this. The accessories come in these paper bags as well. So you just open it up and the accessories pour out of there. I'm meticulous about keeping the stuff that I take when I collect these figures. I keep the boxes. I even keep these, and I keep the paper bags, as you can see. So if I ever want to put the accessories away, I just put them right back in the bag. I've always been meticulous about that, even when I was a child. So, like, when I was a child, I kept the entire card. The only thing I threw away was the bubble, the blister bubble. I didn't just cut out the file card and throw out the rest. I kept the entire card. And the only thing I ever would cut out of them would be the flag points, so I could send them in for stuff like they used to do. If you grew up in the 80s like me and collected G.I.Joe, you know what I'm talking about. So here's the figure. Here's the Shadow Tracker himself. And as you can see, he comes in this cool little coffin-like box with a nice piece of artwork in the back there. This is about the only thing I'm going to miss when they go back to the plastic trays, is they're not going to do this anymore. Which kind of sucks, because this artwork's kind of cool. Now taking a look at Shadow Tracker himself. He's a pretty cool looking figure. He's got this vest overlay here, as well as an overlay on his shoulder that attaches to the vest overlay on his chest. These are not overlays. Oh wait, yeah, they are. They can move. Okay, so his forearm overlays as well, and he's got this waist piece. This is like a half skirt type thing, and then he has an overlay holder for one of his weapons on his thigh there. The armor pieces are sculpted into the figure or glued on. I'm not quite sure. Could be either way. All right. Also, he has this necklace, another overlay there. Sorry. He comes with this mask already on, but it's not removable. So you can't see what his face looks like, unfortunately. It would have been cool if you could have removed that mask and seen what the guy's face looks like underneath. The eyes are kind of glowing red out of there. Kind of looks cool. He's got the dreadlocked hair with one strand sticking out in the front there, and then the rest tied up in the back. Pretty cool. You can look down that far. Can't get a lot of up on his look on his head because of the dreadlocks in the back. Can't really do the Exorcist with him because of the dreadlocks. You could probably put some heat on there and get it around. I'm sure he can turn all the way around. It's just not easy. It's got a little bit of tilt there. Okay, with his arms, the first thing I noticed when I tried hinging his shoulder up is he's got butterfly joints, as you can see. But the first thing I notice is, if you can see, there's a cut right there, right where the hinge is in his shoulder. And that cut, when you try to hinge his arm up, that cut catches right at the top of the butterfly joint. So he can't move his arm any higher than that. However, if you move his arm back a little so that the cut is right at the front of the butterfly joint instead, then you can hinge it in and then turn it back again, and now he's hinged up. So you kind of have to fudge it with it a bit, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. He does have a bicep cut on both arms. And as I showed when I was talking about the overlays, this is attached to the vest so it gets out of the way. If you want to do the same thing with the arm that I showed you on the other side. There. The shoulder gets out of the way there. And if you want to go all the way around, you just have to get the hinge, the shoulder piece out of the way. He's got double jointed pinless arms. This is the first pinless classified figure I've reviewed on my channel since this is the first more recent figure I've reviewed. All the other figures have been from years ago. Both of his hands, he's apparently ambidextrous, as both of his hands have the up-down joint. Now, what I did notice with his right arm, unfortunately, is the joint kind of frozen in there. And when I pulled the hand out to get a look at it, I found out that the peg, the wrist that holds the wrist into the arm, is made of a softer plastic than the peg on this side. This side has a nice, stiff, sturdy, hard peg, which you can pull out and push back in easily. This one is really soft, so I can't get the joint unfrozen. It's a little stiff in there, and trying to unfreeze it caused the peg to start showing white stress marks, so I had to stop that. I was able to fix it with some heat, but the peg is really soft on his right arm. So if you get this figure, you might want to be careful because your peg might be made of the same material. It might be equally soft. As I said, the left hand was perfectly fine. Left hand has a normal, sturdy peg holding the hand into the forearm. This one, not so much, which is the bummer. Those are the two QC issues I was talking about at the beginning of the video, with the hinge being kind of messed up in the shoulder, making you kind of have to fudge around with it in order to get it to work, and then the peg in his right wrist. Torso articulation is minimal due to the vest overlay. You can get about that much movement out of it. You can get the side to side though. He's got the drop down hips like all Joes. He does do the Van Damme splits, but if you want to get his left leg out, you gotta twist the skirt overlay until it's at the back. There you go. And then get the Van Damme splits. And it's interesting, the guy looks like a Predator, and Van Damme was the original actor to portray the Predator in the first movie. If you didn't know that, he was actually supposed to be the guy in the costume. But he did not want to have his face covered, so they got rid of him. Redesigned the costume, hired Kevin Peter Hall, and the rest is history. He's got the swivel at the thigh. He's got a swivel down by his boot. He's got, I'll do this side since the skirt won't be in the way. He's got double jointed, pinless legs. Playing all the hits. Courtesy of Kyle Peterson. His foot goes back that far. You don't get a lot of forward movement with his foot because of the shin guard there. You see that they did curve it out a little bit to give you some, but it doesn't go up that far. And he's got rocker pin. And he's got holes in his boots for stick him on a stand. Now, for accessories, he comes with 2 additional masks. He comes with this translucent green one, and these masks just push right over the top of the one he's got currently. So you got that one. And then you have the skull-looking one. Not sure what animal that skull's supposed to be of. I think I read somewhere as a jaguar, but I'm not too sure that's a jaguar. That looks like a jaguar skull. And that one also just slides or pushes right on the front there. And they won't come off easily, so don't have to worry about that. If you move them around a lot, you might accidentally knock it off, but you can just push it back on. Honestly, though, I like this default mask, the one that doesn't come off. So I'd probably display him just like this. He also comes with this backpack, which is a different sculpt than we've seen previously from other backpacks. Or from, obviously different from other backpacks, but different from other arrow quivers. That's what the word I was looking for. Different from other quivers. He also comes with a loose arrow, which is similar to Vipera and Storm Shadow. And just like Vipera and Storm Shadow, you can store the other arrow in the backpack, like so. You want to be careful pushing it down because it's very thin. If you try to put too much pressure on it, you might break it. That wouldn't be good. He also comes with this bow, which is a compound type bow. And this is a different sculpt than we've seen in the line so far for bows. And it also comes with this piece right here. And I'm not an archer. I have no idea what the name of this piece is. I know I've seen it on compound bows before, so I know it has a purpose, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not an archer. I've never done archery. I've never owned a bow like this. I don't know what the name for this piece is. It looks similar to a silencer, but I don't know if it has the same purpose on a bow as it would on a gun. Maybe you put the arrow through there and it holds it steady. I don't know. But that can push on, and you can also take it off and slide it into the quiver right there. There you go. He also comes with this knife, and unlike figures that you've seen me show previously, the blade on this one came pre-painted. I did not have to paint this blade. And this knife is also similar to one of the accessories the original figure in 2011 came with. So that's a cool callback to the original figure. And you can also slide the knife onto his backpack there. Lastly, he comes with his hatchet. Similar to the one that comes with the Range Viper. I haven't done the Range Viper on my channel yet. I'll get to him eventually, but the Range Viper also came with a hatchet. Similar, but a different sculpt. The Range Viper's hatchet was a little thinner in the middle. This one is not painted, the blade, unlike the knife. And I don't think I will paint this blade. I kind of like it as an all-black weapon. I don't usually like weapons when they're all black, but for this one I think I'll make an exception. And his axe slides right into his leg holster there. The bow can also slide onto his back. You just take the handguard there and stick it into the clip, and then you just slide it down like that. And with the exception of his extra masks, he holds everything on his back. And there he is, all geared up, ready to go, ready to hunt the likes of Recondo and Outback and G.I.Joe Tiger Force. And there you have it. There's Shadow Tracker. He's a brand new figure. I don't even think he's come out yet in the United States. I just got him here in the UK like a week ago, I think. Pretty cool figure. I actually hadn't taken him out of the box yet until this review. I've been waiting to do that for now. So now that I've got him out, I'll get him a stand and stick him in my display. And he'll look pretty cool with the rest of the Cobras. So that's the review for Shadow Tracker. Good figure. I would pick him up. But then I would pretty much pick up all the G.I. Joe classified figures. They're all really cool. So give me a like, subscribe, comment down below if you're going to pick up Shadow Tracker, or if you already have them, what do you think about them? And stay tuned next time, and I'll see you then. Bye.